Okay, everybody, here we go. It is me, Gregory Mannarino. Just lovely, starting out fantastic. I have so much to talk to you about. So, yes, Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. So I want to start off with this, okay? You guys and girls are freaking fantastic. It's really the truth. So I wake up this morning, check my email box. It's like lit up like a Christmas tree. A lot of you want to know my take on President Trump running for president yet again in 24. Okay, here's my take on it just real quick. From a market standpoint, or a corporate standpoint, it's fantastic. Okay. For those of you that have any doubt on my take on how this will go check Greg Hunter's old videos. I said if President Trump were to win the last election, that the stock market would rip higher. We would get the same effect here yet again. What do we know President Trump is all about? Love the guy or hate the guy? Put that to the side for just a moment. And I'm talking about a market standpoint. All right, from a market standpoint, the guy loves to pump the stock market, period. The guy wants to see, and it makes him very happy to see, corporate profits rise. He will achieve this in several ways. And for those of us that are in the market, again, look, having President Trump back is going to make a lot of people very rich. Okay, I'm just giving it to you straight. What do we know he likes on top of pumping the stock market? The man likes, well, he called for negative rates. We didn't get negative rates, but what is the takeaway from that? He likes to see low rates. All right. That's fantastic for the stock market. What else does he like? A weak dollar. Okay. A weak dollar from a trade standpoint is fantastic for corporate agenda, the corporate, whatever here. But of course, a weak dollar doesn't boon very well for the people. And it wouldn't do a damn thing for inflation. But again, from a market standpoint, if President Trump were to win in 24, well, I would say start buying stocks in a big way. It's going to, it really, in my opinion, the stock market would love it if President Trump would win. Okay. That's all I'm going to say here. Okay, love the guy or hate the guy, that's the truth, what I just told you. It's what happened last time. It's what will happen again. So just get used to it. All right, anyway, so let's move forward here. We got this number today, this consumer spending number. Apparently, it came in higher than expected. Let's put that together real quick. Right off the bat, if you were to turn on CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, pick one, they're playing this up as if it's the second coming here. Of course, consumer spending is higher because people have to spend more on everything in an environment where inflation is surging out of control. Meanwhile, we just got numbers here from Target, and Target is getting slammed right now because, again, their sales they missed the mark. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you, but the fact of the matter is they're getting destroyed. They're getting destroyed on every single front. They have to spend more on everything. You know what I'm talking about, people. You, like me, shop. And we also got a couple of warnings here from retail, Target being one, saying that they expect that consumer spending is going to soften significantly moving forward here. And that's getting backed up in another way by the Walmart CEO. And this is what he's saying. Are you ready for this one? You might want to pay attention. Inflation is not peaking. This morning, all right, I'm on Bloomberg. I'm flipping around. And one of the commentators threw out the suggestion that inflation was peaking. I can't stand that, okay, because inflation is not peaking in any way, shape, or form. This gets even better here. Once in a blue moon, I guess it's a blue moon, whatever, you get the truth out of a Federal Reserve president. And, I don't like this institution. In case you're new here, I think the Federal Reserve is a crime syndicate of the highest possible order. Central banks in aggregate need to go. You all know that. I think they're public enemy number one. But Fed President Bostic, this is a stunning admission. Are you ready for this one? He admits that the Fed's raising of rates to date has not yet caused inflation to fall. And he goes on to say that he doesn't see this normalizing anytime soon. So let me ask you, what do you think about that? Here we have a Fed president backing up what you and I talk about every day here. It's not working. It's not even meant to work. Look, the joke is on the people of this freaking planet here, okay? Central banks, world control, period, the end, feeding us dog shit, cat shit, bird shit, reptile shit, every other kind of shit you want to think about, trying to twist our minds into believing something that's a complete falsehood. Raising rates is not the way to slow or stop inflation, people. You know this if you've been following this blog. They need to contract the money supply. They need to stabilize the currency. Central banks have no interest in that whatsoever. They're going to continue to inflate. I've been beating this to death. They're going to continue to inflate the money supply faster than ever as the dollar collapse gets worse. What are central banks doing, people? You know this. They're in a race to the bottom. I've told you this a million times. They're destroying their currencies by design here to bring in a new system. And they're wiping out an entire class of people on a global scale to do it. Look, central banks are going to continue to inflate the money supply, dilute the purchasing power of their currencies while people sit back and do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do you think, for example, that President Trump wins in 2024, he's going to do a damn thing about it? First of all, the man has no power to change it. All right, that's number one. Number two, we already know where he stands. He likes a weak dollar. A weak dollar, again, from a corporate standpoint, from international trade, is fantastic for the corporations, but it's going to suck you dry even worse. You can't win. You see, people, look, it doesn't matter. I know some of you are probably spraying your shorts right now thinking, oh, Trump's going to win. You think it's going to make any difference at all? It doesn't matter who sits behind the Resolute desk. Could be a farm animal, okay? It's the central banks who run the show, period. And they're going to fulfill their end game. There's no way out of it. Central banks have already really fulfilled their end game. It's just a matter of solidifying their agenda here to become the lenders and buyers of last resort, to destroy the global economy collectively. That's what they're doing here. Bring it to its knees along with the people here. Meanwhile, telling people every single falsehood that they can possibly imagine and things you can't even dream about moving forward. It's an incredible thing. And here's a couple of other pieces of information that you need to know. I told you there was a lot. So the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank is saying in a roundabout way that the banks themselves are in trouble. Why? We outlined this already here. Let me explain this to you real quick. The banks are in trouble right now, but let me put this another way. You're in trouble right now. Do you know why? The savings rate is in the negative. And this is not just a phenomenon here in the United States. No deals, no loans. People are done. So banks here, of course, are going to be feeling the effects of that. But don't be smiling just yet, because you know who's going to bail out the banks again? You are. You and me. That's who's going to bail out the banks again, or bail in the banks, whatever. They will never lose. So hearing something like this should, make you worry a little bit. I told you about this, I don't know, a month ago. I said the banks they're not making loans. They're not making deals here. Savings is negative. So you're going to pay for it. Just remember that. Trust me on this. When you paid for it last time, you're going to pay for it again. So UK inflation hits a 41-year high on soaring energy prices. Now, we've covered this before right here in this blog. We're going to see inflation, energy inflation especially, surge around the world. It's going to hit the United States last, okay? Again, what is, yet again, people, let's have a little refresher course here. What is the United States' biggest export product? Inflation, exactly. The United States exports inflation to the rest of the world via the mechanism of the U.S. dollar being the world reserve. And you think the world is going to stand for this much longer? There's going to be a world war first. All right. Anyway, so what's the takeaway from all this? With regard to consumer spending being higher, can I please get a duh? Maybe 2 duhs. Duh. Maybe even 3. Duh. Okay, people have to spend more on everything, people. You know that. So how the mainstream is being told to twist this by their little freaking teleprompters is all bullshit, because we're hearing from the 2 biggest retailers here. You got Walmart and you got Target saying retail sales are soft. Retail sales are soft, and they got nowhere to go but worse because people are done. But they continue to borrow beyond their eyeballs, which we just found out, with credit card debt at a 20-year high. Consumer debt, household debt, personal debt doesn't stop. And it's not going to. These are former members of the middle class trying to maintain the illusion of a middle class existence as they get squashed down to the lower rung of society and become dependent on the system. You all know that. I want to hear about your take on this. Fed Bostic here admitting that the Fed's raising of rates is not working. Duh! Never meant to work. Fed President Bostic, I'm going to give you a little slight bit of kudos here for at least letting people understand what the truth is. Sometimes it gets leaked out. It's unbelievable here. And this issue with the European Central Bank saying that the banks are in trouble, no, you're in trouble. I'm in trouble. We're going to bail these banks out again. Don't you even dream that it's going to go another way. In no way it's not going to happen. They won't lose. We will lose. So that shouldn't send a freaking chill up down your freaking spine. And for my friends over in Europe and the UK, my heart goes out to you. I told you this, I don't know, weeks ago. You're going to start to see it's going to get worse for you first with regard to energy prices. And I don't know what to say about this. I really don't. It's a deliberate act. It's going to get progressively worse here as inflation soars around the world. It's not going to get better. It's not meant to get better. And central banks are going to continue to inflate. So just get used to it. Because there's not enough people to make a difference. You want to storm a building? Don't storm the Capitol. Storm central banks. They have to go. They are the enemy. This guy here loves you a lot, people. I outlined a lot of stuff for you. Please comment. Let me know what you think here about what I covered. All right. I will see all of you later on today, at the end of the day, as usual. And I'm just out of here.